Hello. So today I'm going to be vibe coding. So I have this plan for a perfect day app. The idea being, imagine if you have one North Star metric that told you whether it was a perfect day for swimming, perfect day for snorkeling, perfect day for surfing, whatever, gave you alert the day before, 2 days before, and you never missed a perfect day again. It also told you how rare that day was. So basically, you know that tomorrow is going to be probably the best day all year. So if you want to take the day off work, that's the day to do it. So I am not an expert at vibe coding. Like most of us, I'm learning this. So I thought it'd be fun to do a bit of an experiment. So there's a number of different vibe coding options. So I've been talking to different people that vibe code already. I did a bit of searching online. I looked at ChatGPT and I came up with three things to try. So Lovable. So lots of promotions and hackathons out at the moment. It currently ranks well in organically in Google. Replit. That's ranking in ChatGPT. We can call it that. When I asked ChatGPT what should I choose, it came up with Replit as the main option. It also has a cool mobile app, which I'd like to try too. I can vibe code on the go. And then the best all-rounder is supposed to be Glide. So I'm hoping that's going to be really easy for me to make my MVP, minimum viable product. So the idea is I'm going to try each of these different apps today and see how I get on and see what comes out at the end of the day. And so you'll get to see what works, what doesn't work, probably me pulling my hair out, and some form of end result, I hope. So the challenge is to try these apps. I've given myself a day to vibe. My goal is to build up them MVP, and then I'm going to review the learnings and see how far I got. The resources that I have is I've gone to the shop and I understand that Cheetos is really important. Are really important. I've got notes to munch, and Watsits as well. So I hear, I've been told by a friend that cheese dust is a really important ingredient in all vibe coding. I've got some Coke, keep myself fully hydrated throughout the day. And I've even got some special, very special vibing glasses. So these are my vibing glasses. So these are really just going to give me that extra edge, I think, and get me into the mood. I put together a dev brief. So this is the kind of brief that you might send to a professional developer. So, I want to give myself the best possible chance. And then to make sure I still keep in the mode, I put together a vibing playlist. So if we just have a look at that. So having a little look through, Ren is obviously really big at the moment in terms of vibing and vibing music. We've got 16 songs here. I've got a mixture of different Ren Chan. I've got Vibe Coding Raccoon. I'm obviously a master. Bad Evan, Danny Flavors. So I might go mad because obviously I'll need to be listening to this all day and there's only 16 songs, but I've listened to a few already and I'm already a bit excited. I will put this in the notes, and it's freely available as well. So if you want to listen to the playlist and give it a go, please do. So let's bring up the scope document. So these are my product requirements. So this is what I'm going to use in my prompts to keep me focused and to help me work through what I'm trying to build. So got a bit of an introduction, the idea for the apps, and never unknowingly miss a perfect day on the water again. My objectives, my scope, what to include in my minimum viable product, what not to include, some of the logic around what makes a perfect day. So I see it as being, the top 5 to 10% of days for that sport in the year. A badge system. So we'll see how we get on, but I'd love to have some kind of badge system. When you use Fitbit, you get 10,000 steps, 5,000 steps, you get badges, and that's really good for gamification. I want it to feel fun. So I've come up with some badge ideas. Fat pancake is my favorite at the moment. So imagine if the water is absolutely as flat as glass. It's a high tide. It's perfect for stand-up paddleboarding, rowing, swimming. And then some ideas what a badge could look like. Again, ChatGPT generated, so AI generated. But some of the requirements, so wave height, wind speed, total height, water clarity, rainfall. If you're not familiar with the UK at the moment, we actually have sewage emptying into our water. So, and that only really happens after rain or, when they have to do discharges. So I don't really want to swim in sewage, so I don't want them to have any rainfall the couple of days before I swim. I've got a number of different ones. So zippy mirror, clear dive, but I'm probably going to crowdsource these as well. So I put together a list of the various variables that I think will go into putting my North Star metric together. So that will be wind speed, rainfall, air temperature, water clarity, tide height, and timing. And I'm trying to group these into different categories, I think, that come together. So we've got a Venn diagram, effectively, of what makes the perfect day. So it's weather conditions, it's water conditions, and then it's timing. There's no point having perfect conditions too early or too late, unless we're going for a sunset kind of thing. And then my thinking as well is, and a lot of this is going to be behind the scenes, is once we come up with these pattern of perfect conditions for specific sports, we can then effectively model those going forward and say, this is what perfect conditions look for rowing. This is what perfect conditions look for swimming. So basically, rowing with swimming, water quality is more important than it is for rowing. So that's the idea there. And then we've got some user stories, functional requirements, technical requirements, some ideas around what the tool stack might look like later, and my MVP success criteria. So wish me luck. Next time you see me, I'll be full vibe, and I will see how I go.